Howdy folks, really quick bonus video for you today. I was kind of bored and I'm sitting around thinking, what can I do? And I thought, you know what, I'll put the finishing touches to this Meng World War II's Tiger 1 German heavy tank kit that Rita put together years ago. There are bits missing. It's in more or less the same state that her M3 Lee was before I started fancying it up. Unfortunately, I didn't record any of it. So the process itself didn't get recorded, which is a shame because I tried some new things that I'd never really done before, like weathering pigments and glazing. The weathering pigments weren't entirely successful, but the glazing definitely was. And this is the finished result. So, aside from the fact that the model is pretty much entirely airbrushed with the exception of the highlighting, the main two things that I've never really tried before were weathering pigments and glazing. You can see the weathering pigments, the rust at the back over the exhaust. Not entirely successful. Like I said, first time I've tried using weathering pigments. They're basically like the very fine dust that you add paint medium to turn pigment into paint. They're paint without the medium, and they go everywhere. And the reason I'd never really tried using them before, because I had some for a while, was because I didn't have any pigment binder, and some of that arrived a couple of days ago, so I thought I'd have a go. And in places it's worked really well, but at the top along the engine deck there's far too much. So I'm probably going to go over that with some shades and just try to lessen the effect. The highlighting, well, basically the entire model is airbrushed in Vallejo Model Air. Ooh, try to remember the colour. Panzer Dark Grey. And then I've taken Vallejo Model Air Neutral Grey, but not airbrushed it on, and just applied it with a brush. And done an edge highlight around, well, pretty much everything. Except for the top of the gun barrel, where I did something, well, it wasn't just the top of the gun barrel, you can see the top of the machine gun ball mount at the front as well. A process that's known as glazing. We're trying to get some better light on this figure. Glazing is something else that I've never tried before, and it's kind of like shading and it's kind of not. What I did was I took the neutral grey and I basically painted a stripe along the top of the gun barrel. But that's way too harsh a difference. You want to blend that almost white neutral grey stripe along the top of the gun barrel into the Panzer Grey on the rest of the gun barrel. So you make a glaze, which is like a very, very translucent mix of those two colours. And you just keep applying it around the edges until they blend into each other and you can't see where one colour meets the other. First time I've ever tried doing it, and I was very, very pleased with the results. I did it on a couple of the other areas as well. The machine gun ball mount, which to be honest could probably use another couple of coats. And then some of the large metal fittings out the back of the tank. But overall I was pretty happy with this. A couple of techniques I'd never tried before. Like I said, the use of weathering pigments, I wasn't entirely successful, but I learnt a lot from it. I'll definitely be better next time. And glazing, an extremely lengthy process, but the results are definitely worth it. Trying to learn something new every time I paint a new model. And that's kind of the point, because you shouldn't expect to paint something amazing every time you put paint on a model, but you should expect, or at least aim, to paint something better than the last time you painted something. And I think I've achieved that today. And hopefully you like the look of it and have enjoyed this extremely quick bonus modelling video. As always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.